Hello everyone, this is Miss Siddiqui here. In this video we will talk about Sound Devices 1.0 for our poetry unit. So the objectives for this video are to define and identify rhyme and onomatopoeia in poetry, being able to determine the impact of rhyme and onomatopoeia on the meaning and tone of a text, and to be able to explain the effects of and give examples of rhyme scheme in poetry. So you all probably are familiar with rhyme, right? It's the repetition of similar sounds. The sounds, though, are not always exactly the same, and we'll talk about types of rhyme. The spelling does not have to be the same. So, for example, thinking and linking, bake and cake, frog and hog, high and sky are rhymes. So an exact rhyme is when the sounds that rhyme are exactly the same sounds. So, hat and cat, free and bee. Exactly the same sounds. Sometimes in poetry you might find approximate rhyme or half rhyme. So that's when the words repeat some sounds but are not exact echoes. So mean and fine, rate and bet, life and die, beef and streets. So poets might use approximate rhyme and half rhymes to use particular words that they want to use that don't quite hit that exact echo for a rhyme. So sounds are similar, but not exact. And then we have end rhymes. So this is when the rhyme comes at the end of a line of poetry. So, for example, where in this book do you think I should look? Every day I look at the sky, I think of my life and ask myself why. So the end rhymes are book and look and sky and why. So that's an A-A-B-B rhyme scheme. So book and look, sky and why. Then we also have internal rhymes in poetry. So this is when rhymes that occur within one line. So for example, I set my hat on the mat. I was a fool who skipped school. So those are internal rhymes because the rhyme is within that one line. So hat and mat are in one line, and fool and school are in one line. So the term rhyme scheme sometimes is hard for people to wrap their heads around. So, right, the word scheme has different meanings. So sometimes scheme can mean like cheating or getting something illegally. Like the gang's scheme for breaking into the museum included disguises, a getaway car, and Krispy Kreme donuts to distract the guard. Scheme, though, has a different definition in poetry, and it refers to a system of things or an arrangement. So, for example, the scheme for the irrigation system included pop-up sprinklers, drip lines, and misters. So it's the second definition that applies to rhyme scheme. So when you think of rhyme scheme for poetry, think rhyme arrangement. So finding the rhyme scheme is easy because you can already hear rhymes. You've been looking at language for your whole life now. So you read the poem to the right. Notice the coloring of the words at the ends of the line. So all the words at the ends of the line that have the same sound are shaded the same color, like see and plea are both pink, and power and flower are both yellow. Now, if you were taking a test and asked to show the rhyme scheme of this sonnet, you'd have to get out crayons or highlighters to show rhyme scheme in this way. That's not practical. You can't highlight all the colors of a rhyme. So there's an easier way to show rhyme scheme using the alphabet. So this is Sonnet 65 from William Shakespeare, which has a particular rhyme scheme. So in this next slide, I'll show you what that rhyme scheme is using letters instead of colors. So, using the alphabet to show rhyme scheme instead of colors, you basically assign a rhyme, a particular rhyme, letters. So, for example, see and plea are both A and A. Power and flower are B and B. Out and stout are C and C. Days and decays are D and D. Alack and back are E and E. Hid and forbid are F and F, and might and bright are G and G. So the rhyme scheme of this poem is A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. So this is a regular rhyme scheme because the first and third line of each quatrain rhyme, as do the second and fourth, and then the final two lines right here are a couplet. So that means that they just rhyme right in a row. So up here, remember A, B, where A and A rhyme and B and B rhyme. Then C, D, where C and C, out and stout rhyme, and days and decays are D and D and they rhyme. So looking at rhyme scheme can help us unlock the poet's meaning in a particular piece of work. So Shakespearean sonnets follow the same rhyme scheme and form. Each Shakespearean sonnet has 14 lines. There are 3 quatrains that express related ideas. There is an ending couplet that sums up the author's point or makes a conclusion, and the rhyme scheme is almost always the same. So you'll notice that the rhymes kind of follow this pattern of ideas where the first quatrain points out that hard objects and even the sea are changed over time. Since brass, nor stone, nor earth, nor boundless sea, but sad mortality o'ersways their power, how with this rage shall beauty hold a plea whose action is no stronger than a flower? So the whole first quatrain focuses on this one topic. So the rhyme scheme helps to break it up. Then the second quatrain gives more examples, such as sweet summer air, rocks and steel that decay over time. In the third quatrain, the author of the poem wonders how beauty can hide from time, and in the couplet, he hopes that his black ink, this sonnet, will preserve his partner's beauty. So you can see how when it's broken up by rhyme, each quatrain focuses on a particular idea conveyed in the poem. So rhyme scheme helps you to unlock aspects of the poet's meaning. Let's talk about onomatopoeia. That's a fun word. So onomatopoeia is naming a thing or an action by imitating the sound it makes. So for example, woof, boom, hiss, buzz. Those are all onomatopoeia. Or crunch, moo, ring, wham. Or vroom, clunk, roar, pitter-patter. You see onomatopoeia all the time. You can see it in comics like clump, 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 or bonk, and you can see it in poetry. So here's some examples of onomatopoeia. And when you write your poems in this unit, I'd like you to try to use onomatopoeia to make your poetry come to life. So use flutter, zing, clunk, bang, plop, whoosh, knock, cheep, achoo, whiz, blare, flick, cuckoo, ball, smack, belch. Onomatopoeia makes poetry come alive for the writer and the reader, so it's a fun technique to use. So in sum, by the end of this video, you should know what a rhyme is, you should know what a rhyme scheme is, and you should know what onomatopoeia is. Thanks for watching.